Hey guys, it's me, EODGamer here, and let's do an 8-minute quick guide building Feixiao in Honkai Star Rail, filmed on the Creator Experience server. Thank you for the Hoivers for letting us try her out in advance. The most important thing that I want you to know about this character is her entirety of a kit is pretty much really wanting to use out as much as possible because it deals massive amounts of damage as well. The unique mechanic about her out is when you enter the ultimate state, you can choose between two modes. Like one of the strikes is like this Bolt Thunder Blitz, one of them War X Skyward. Not to make it too complicated, the simple thing is if the enemy is weakness broken, you use one. If the enemy is not weakness broken, you use the other. The benefits is the same, you still get that damage percentage buff. If you auto battle or you just like automatically control, it will just choose, it will select the one for you. So don't have to think too much about this as well. It's just a nice animation that you can choose two different weapons, which I think is pretty cool from a design perspective. So the other important thing that you need to know is this character doesn't have energy costs. Instead, she goes by this thing called flying auras stacks that you have. How do you gain these stacks? It's very similar to likes of Akirion in a sense where you don't have energy gauge. So you can't use Huo Huo Ting Yun to funnel energy into you. Flying auras is gained when either Feixiao herself attacks and does like follow attacks. They gain like half a point, so to speak. So 0.5 points. You need 6 points to use an ultimate ability as well. So total of like 12 attacks need to be done. And she can gain up to 12 points. So you can use like 2 ultimates back to back if you store them all up at one shot. She can also get for these stacks when her teammates launch attacks. So after Feixiao teammate attack an enemy, Feixiao immediately launches a follow attack. This helps her gain like 0.5 points as well. So she deals some wind damage. Note that it is only proc. Can only trigger once per turn, and trigger count resets at the start of Feixiao's turn. So sometimes you're wondering, how come my teammate attacking but Feixiao doesn't attack? It's because it's only triggered once per Feixiao's turn, very similar to likes of Kafka with that follow attack shooting with a gun that she does. So this is one of the reasons why you want to build her a little bit faster as well, so you can proc many of these follow attacks when your teammate attacks too. So that is the difference. Other than that, pretty simple character. Her skill here allows her to hit 2 times. So instead of just basic attacking and gaining like 0.5 points for her ultimate, skill allows you to do that first initial strike, so 0.5, and then you immediately follow up, so you get another 0.5. So she does want to drink a lot of your skill points. Do take note about that when you're trying to like form your team compositions around her. So on to the set bonuses for her. I think that the best set for her currently in the game is Wind Soaring Valorious. It gives her everything that she needs. 12% attack, 4 piece is also really great for her, giving her 6% crit rate and increasing her follow-up. When she launches a follow-up attack, she increases the out damage by 36%. Very strong. 4 piece, probably her best in slot, but I know not every one of you might have like a super godly Wind Soaring Valorious since it's one of the newer sets. Another alternative is Ash Blazing Grand Duke. This increases follow-up attacks as well, which she benefits from. It's a close second place, so it's really strong. The third gear that I think is really strong, that it hasn't been seen used a lot, is Eagle of Twilight Line. This is actually a very interesting set if you're playing it with a lot of characters on your team using the exact same set, because she wants to gain stacks as quickly as possible. So this, even though it doesn't buff directly her damage, other than the 10% wind damage, it helps her get a lot more utility out of movement, especially if you want to gain the stacks faster, quicker. Your whole team action advancing after they use their ultimate by like 25%. That's quite a lot to help you get an overall push for your team. This doesn't directly contribute damage, so more testing has to be done, but it's in a close, interesting third of unorthodox gear to use. In terms of the planet ornaments, 2, in my opinion, 2 or 3 really stand out. The one that I am focused on mainly is Duran, Dynasty of Running Moves. This is super strong because every time ally uses follow attacks, you gain 1 stack of merit. It stacks out 5 times, gain damage increase, and you get the crit damage. So massive 25% follow attack damage increase and crit damage. This is probably best in slot for her. You want to get it if you can. Otherwise, you can go for something like the Izumo Gensei and Takama Divine Realm. This is also pretty strong. 12% attack when entering battle if any other allies follow the same path as the wearer. Your crit rate increases by 12%. Great if you have Topaz and Nambi on the same team, Moze on the same team, March 7 Hunt on the same team. If you're running these characters, you will find a lot of value from this one too. Those 2 are probably my top recommendations. Another one that you can consider is of course like Inerts also, though I think this is pretty decent as well because you gain a lot of this like follow-up attack bonus, ultimate damage bonus which she uses as well. Especially any of you long-time players, you have a good Inerts also though. Just slap it on, no need to really like refarm anything, especially in the near term. So what main sets are you using? I have an interesting graphic here that I put out, just a quick summary, but let's talk about each and every single one of them real quick. Starting with the body, you can go for crit damage, crit rate, depending on what you are looking for. For boots, I would prefer going for speed over attack percentage. I mean, in certain comps, attack is still okay, but speed allows her to move much more often. If she laps her turn, not only she can get more stacks, but she can let her follow up whenever teammate attacks proc more often as well. So I think speed is much better on her. Planisphere, wind damage bonus, really strong. Attack percentage I think is a lot better because she is a main DPS damage dealer for the link rope. So pretty straightforward build. Moving on quickly to Lightcones for Feixiao. Her best in slot is of course going to be I Venture 4th to Hunt. You get a lot of defense ignore for this particular character and crit rage, which helps her get more consistency in her overall damage. However, I think that the other one that is quite useful for her is Baptism of Pure Thought. Increases wearer's crit damage by 20% for every debuff the enemy target. With the wearer's crit damage increased by additionally 8%, especially if you can get enough debuffs on the enemy. One of the main issues is like the best in slot teams with Feixiao might not have too much debuffs, so that is one of the things that you need to take note of. If you can play into a team that debuffs the enemy a lot, fine. But otherwise, I think I Venture 4th to Hunt gives you a lot more consistency, but I think Dr. Ratio's Baptism of Pure Thought comes in a close second. More interesting though, I think In the Night is also extremely useful for this particular character because you get same amount of very good amounts of crit rate, but every 10 speed you exceed 100, you gain additional basic attack and skill damage. At the same time, your out damage is increased by like a massive 72% at max stacks. So very, very good as well if you have In the Night too. But this is actually already pretty competitive, and I would say it's like one of the better ones. Otherwise, you can consider running with other things like S5 swordplay if you do not have the other 5-star alternatives too. Very quickly, Eidolons. What are the important ones? If you haven't seen our video comparing all of them, you can check it out as well on the channel, but I'll just give you a TLDR summary. Feixiao is a character that a lot of her kit is actually already unlocked at E0, S0. She really only gains like 50% of her overall damage if you go to like something like E1 in terms of individual damage. Unlike a character like Akirion, who is really wanting to go for as much as she can, like E2, where her damage like doubles and stuff like that. Feixiao at E1 doesn't really gain too much. E1, S1 doesn't really gain as much as Akirion, so super free to play friendly. Her best support is going to be Robin. If you want to know whether you can actually make do with a character other than Robin, I think the answer is yes. We have more permutations on the channel as well. Robin offers a lot of value with Feixiao because every time characters move, Robin gets energy. Every time they do damage, Robin deals instance of damage. They synergize like peanut butter and jelly with each other, and that's why they're very, very strong together too. Some 4-star alternatives that I think are really underrated is a character like Hanya, who is great for hypercarry DPSs that care a lot about speed and attack, which Feixiao does a lot as well. She has Burden that she places on the enemy, which can give you a lot of skill point, which Feixiao uses very quickly because she wants to use her skill very often to get the stacks quickly too. So Hanya, I think, is an underrated character for this unit. Everyone's talking about Robin, but Hanya, you should check out our video if you want to see more team compositions on her specifically. I'm just going like the overall nutshell. In terms of sub DPSs for her, Topaz and Nambi is probably going to be the best premium option for her as well, but two other options that you can consider will be March 7 Hunt, let me find her, March 7 Hunt here, or you can use a character like Mozer. These two characters are great sub DPS potential for her as well. And in the sustain slot, you probably, now in the game, probably the best that deals like enough damage also on the side will be a character like Aventurine. If you have Gallagher as well, Gallagher is pretty solid, and maybe in future once Lingsha comes out, Lingsha will be in one of those places. But utility slot probably is the best because you can pretty much fit most of them in the last slot as well. But these are the options that you have for your overall account. And if you found this video helpful, you might be interested in these two other content, and check it out if you're interested. Like and subscribe, share with any of your friends. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video.